right, let's talk about social media. There's a guy in the house right now who is doing really well in his recovery. That said, this dude's going crazy on social media, and what I'm talking about specifically is having fun with it, right? Indulging in things that he thinks are funny, specifically memes. He'll post, I can't even tell you how many memes a day on Instagram and Facebook, and just blast them out there. And, I actually confronted him on it and just said, hey, because in one breath he's asking me to help him get a job. Not necessarily asking, but he would like to improve his career and his professional life. Yet that contradicts what I'm seeing him blast out on social media, because I don't know an employer, including myself. I mean, if I own a company, I'm going to be checking out their social media and ensure that I'm bringing in somebody who's going to have good synergy with my company. And if they're blasting out crazy stuff, even extreme political views, and if they don't have some discretion and they just act on their indulgences on social media and venture into highly controversial areas, and why would I want somebody like that in my workplace? That's going to be disruptive, and it's just, I foresee nothing but issues. It's not worth it. I confronted this guy. I said, hey man, and I shared so much with him, my thoughts on it. And he said he's super careful, like, you can't see his posts unless you're in his friendship circle. So that's great. I'm careful about micromanagement. My job is to help guys, integrate back into responsible society. So almost everything I do is a suggestion until it gets to a line, crosses that line where, there are real problems that we have to address, and whether that's, asking them to leave or whatever, there's other consequences. But, for the most part, if they're doing well in their recovery, the rest of it is just kind of a suggestion. And, so anyways, I gave my 2 cents, right? So really, that's how I feel about it. To summarize it up, I think, just to piggyback on it real quickly, we are when we are in recovery or have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and being, that's because we have a hard time with giving into our indulgences, right? We get a craving, we get an obsession, and we can't stop until we scratch that itch. So here we are in recovery, and all we do is take that same type of personality and those same types of behaviors, and we push them out into other aspects of our life. So every time you post something you think is funny or something you think is relevant for social media, I was a political guy, I never knew a thing about politics, didn't give a crap. I was so consumed with my day-to-day, before I got clean and sober, that last thing I cared about was what was going on in the world. I just wanted to see the whole thing burn down for all I cared. I get sober a couple years later, I'm paying attention to what's happening in the world around me. So I developed some strong opinions and would, post those on social media, especially around political season when there's, campaigns and stuff like that. And it just pissed a lot of people off, and it gets extreme, and I found myself arguing and fighting way more than I wanted to, and, ending friendships and stuff like that. And so, today I'm very careful about it. And that's the point of the video. Use some discretion. You can do that. And you can say, well, that's not fair. I should be able to post whatever I want, and I don't give a shit, and I don't, world can F off. That mentality is great. I mean, it's not great. It's an option for you. You can choose to do that. Literally, that attitude is not great. Let me take that back. I don't know why I said that. That's in you giving into your indulgences without playing the tape through. You hear it in recovery all the time, play the tape through. So think about the consequences. You want to post stuff that's highly provocative, that's, it could be anything from, political to, just raunchy, dirty, to bigoted, to, just, if you don't use some sort of discretion and play the tape through in your life the same way as you do having that first drink or drug, there are consequences to it. That's the point. There are consequences. And, same thing with it's all relative. When we stop drinking and drugging, now we have to learn. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Just because you've got not drinking and drugging down doesn't mean that there aren't other areas of your life that you can apply these same principles to and either enjoy the consequences or suffer from the consequences of your actions. So that's all I'm saying. Here's the deal. Like, we all have defects in our character, right? So do I. I mean, I certainly have acknowledged them, and we're not going to get rid of them. What we do in the 7th step is we ask God to remove the defects of character that stand in our way of usefulness to God. So that doesn't mean you're going to get rid of them. We're never going to get rid of them. So if you have a propensity towards certain things that have been destructive for you in the past, then simply take those same behaviors and funnel them into ways that are beneficial. For example, I don't have a lot of patience, and I have a temper, right? So rather than drinking because I'm impatient, because I don't want to feel emotions, I will go out and solve problems in the world. It helps me in business with lack of patience. Like, I want to get things done, and like, for example, I saw that there weren't a bunch of sober livings out there that I liked and that were, that I felt were appropriate for my sponsees. So I went and started my own. I have a lack of patience. I want to go fix things on my own. So take those defects in character, use them for a positive. But that said, with the social media thing, I don't go out and blatantly post politics stuff all the time on Facebook and Instagram and just, blast everybody. I have certain outlets and ways that I feel like I can participate in the system that are appropriate, and, it doesn't necessarily go out to my network, my entire immediate network. And if I'm looking for a job or whatever, it's not necessarily the glaring, they're not going to see on Facebook that I'm obsessively posting about anything. It's just, keep it nice and light, but I have my outlets, put it that way, right? I still am the type of guy, I'm a man of action. I have to go out and I have to do something. If I feel like there's an injustice in the world, I have to do something about it. And so I have my ways of doing that. You guys can reach out to me directly and ask me how I do it, but you can start petitions, you can whatever, you can go out and get active, go talk to your city council, write emails to people. You can do certain things, but just be careful when you're blasting and announcing things out into the world, man. That's all I'm saying. There are consequences to it, good or bad. That's the world we live in today. All right, thanks, bye.